I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize. This is somewhat graphic, but in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I want people to know. So, yeah, like even starting off from that, I don't like if you get shot in the neck, is there usually going to be like an exit wound? I wouldn't even like I don't I would imagine it depends on where the bullet hits you, right? Is that like I don't yeah, I don't know. And
Hold on.
then
Let me see what you're talking about. Can you link this direct?
yes, I
And
can.
I'm obviously for most of these questions, I'm gonna let the practitioner go first.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well, go on,
yeah, I
Anna.
mean, the thing is, though, I practice in Australia, so I've actually never ever seen a patient with a gunshot wound. I've seen lots of neck stabbings and like that kind of thing. So I really don't know. I can't really answer about like, that kind of thing. I mean, I do know the basic stuff. Like obviously bones are more likely to stop a bullet than say, viscous organs like hollow organs.
I
But
linked it
I
in
mean, I
the
don't know, but
side
I
chat, by the
imagine.
way.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna.
like I would imagine that it would depend on things like I don't know how far away the shooter was, I don't know, so many things, right? Like you'd know more about that, the gun expert, like you know what I mean, like the caliber of the bullet, right? Things like that.
What? What is this? His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the
I think
man of steel. What is this
yeah,
glazing?
part, this part. Okay, so this part is definitely bullshit. That I can speak to this part. I can't really speak to would there be an exit wound. I feel like there's so many. My intuition is that there are a lot of factors that go into that answer. I don't think the fact that there wasn't an exit wound would be really unusual. Like I had a bit of a read through the literature. I found quite a few case studies where bullets were lodged in various structures in the neck. So, you know,
Yeah, I kind of figured that. I kind of figured it would depend on where that. By the way, SD, if you want to read that out loud, you can, but it's very
yeah,
No,
it's
I
a
just
very
wanted to read that part. His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. The surgeon said this.
I really want to know which surgeon did like scanned
Mhm.
someone who was dead on arrival. That's what I
Okay,
would like to know.
who is this guy? Who is Andrew Colvett? Christian Proud Okay, so he's a TPUSA spokesman.
yeah, he apparently was a friend of Charlie, and he told this to Fox News, and then he tweeted about it. I also found a Fox News article about it, but this is the tweet where this originates
Does
from.
the Fox News article just quote Clovett rather than any other
Or
actual
Colvin.
source?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. Yes, hold on.
Okay,
Let me get
so
it.
I wouldn't trust a lot of what is being said
I
here.
wouldn't either. I just think it's funny, and I was curious to like talk to an actual doctor and like people who know about this because this
Mhm.
sounds like bullshit
What
to
I
me.
what I
But
can what I can summarize just from like this is you don't need to be like a bullet expert to know about this. Like
Mhm.
Charlie's injury was it was a really devastating injury. Like if he wasn't dead on arrival, he would have arrived, like he would have been arrested. Like they would have been in the middle of resuscitating him. If you knew someone had a neck wound and they were, you were resuscitating them, like literally they were in, cardiorespiratory arrest, you would not put them through a CT scanner. You just get them into surgery and get into the neck. You know what I mean? Like you can scan an unstable patient before surgery, but you wouldn't do it if they were arrested. Like you'd wait for ROSC, which is like return of spontaneous circulation, and then you would scan them. Yeah, it just makes none of it makes any sense. And also like,
Where are we
he's 30 years
getting?
old. Like I go on.
Are you saying that they CT scanned him before attempting any surgery?
no, she's
Where's
saying that
that?
they
No,
didn't.
they wouldn't. That's what I mean. Like
Okay,
they
gotcha,
it would
gotcha.
just
You're
be
just
insane. Yeah,
explaining.
yeah. Because like if I mean I from what I saw, he definitely would have arrived dead at that hospital. Like that,
Mhm.
like there's no way. Like if but even if you look just like let's say for sake of argument, he didn't and they were resuscitating him still. Like, you can't put someone through a scanner when you're in the middle of resuscitating someone. You just can't do it. Like it's yeah, you got to wait for return of spontaneous circulation at least, and then you can put them through even if they're unstable if you really think it will help. But no, you just take them to surgery. Like it's just all made up. And also like he's a 30-year-old man. Like yeah, he'd have normal healthy bone density. Like he's got no reason. And if he has really really abnormally high bone density, that's a disease. Like that's not a good thing. It just none of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like
the other thing that's standing out to me here is this supposed surgeon said, "I've seen wounds from this caliber many times."
why the fuck would the surgeon know what caliber? That's like the forensic pathologist thing. Like, yeah, it's silly.
Well, this might be this is obviously a post hoc discussion, so he probably knew the caliber at this point. Rather than like, when it gets there, he's like, "Oh, this is a 30-06." But the thing that stands out to me is 30-06 is first of all, it's a hunting round. Like originally it was the M1 Garand used in World War II, whatever. But it's used as a hunting round, and there's not a lot of people that die to hunting rifles and like the weapons of this caliber. Like you're more likely to see 308 or 5.56. But to say you've seen wounds from this caliber many times is kind of strange in the context of the United States. Like, yeah, there's guns everywhere, but I think less than 300 people a year die from all long rifles combined. So AR-15s to hunting rifles, all those kind of things.
Listen,
to say,
I think.
Why would they?
Hold on. I think.
They take the bullet out?
I think
Why
that
would he know
you
what the
are.
caliber was
I
then?
think that you are
Yeah.
like underestimating the fact that this doctor very clearly has treated a lot of animals that have been shot
Yeah,
while they've been hunted. Yeah, check.
But that's like a veterinary surgeon. So
Yeah, I know exactly.
But also, like, why would they? If he arrived dead, or someone stable that they didn't even get to surgery, why would he have removed the bullet to know what caliber it was? Like the bullet, which should be removed during autopsy, which wouldn't have happened then.
No, what I'm saying is he got that information from the reporting, not from his surgery or whatever. I don't think at the time he knew what caliber it was, even when removing it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
if
like
he
he's
removed it.
he's supposedly talking to Colvette, days afterwards. So, I mean, the other.
Wounds from this caliber many times. So it sounds like he said he was speaking to the surgeon on the day, or no, or was he?
I mean,
no. So, Charlie, I want to just this. But in this case, the fact that there was an exit wound, I just spoke, and this was tweeted 16 hours ago. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, gotcha. I understand. I thought he meant like, yeah, okay.
I mean, so there's a couple things that stand out in my mind, and obviously we still don't have a lot of information, which is weird for how hungry the administration and everybody else is to pin this on somebody. But there's a lot of different factors that go. Well, there's a lot of different factors that go into bullets and how they pass through material, based on a couple factors. So the first factor that I would isolate is what type of projectile. So there's two primary types of projectile that you're going to find through in 30-06 is your most bog standard, what's called FMJ or Full Metal Jacket, which is just it's a basically solid projectile. And those are designed mostly for combat or target shooting or anything but hunting, because they just basically just go straight, fast, and through the material. They're designed to penetrate as deep as possible. And then your second type is your basically hunting round. And those typically have a soft nose and filler to the projectile, so it'll have a copper jacket, but the tip and the interior will be lead. And those are designed to, upon impact, expand and transfer as much energy as possible to the target. And if any of this information here is to be correct, it's more likely that it was a hunting round of some type, which is more commonly available off the shelf. It's more likely what the person had on hand, if it's his granddad's hunting rifle or whatever that was gifted to him. And it's very likely that if it were to hit Charlie in the neck and strike the spinal cord, which is correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Doctor, but that's like the only major bone back there, right?
Oh, well, right. I mean, technically the vertebrae are the bones, but the spinal cord is the collection of nerves that run through the vertebrae. Yeah, but yeah, that's
the spinal vertebrae is, and those are typically I don't want to say it's like as dense as your leg bones or something, but they're definitely more rugged bones.
Yeah,
So
they're very dense. Yeah, and they're like the shape is quite like they're sort of, you know,
they're fat.
like how do you yeah, they're fat and they're sort of like a, I don't want to say horseshoe, that sounds a bit stupid. How would you describe it? Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
they're oblong. You know, they're
yeah,
almost a circle. But yeah, so it's very likely that if a hunting round were to penetrate his neck, start to expand, and smack into a spinal cord, sorry, his spinal vertebrae, that it could stop. Um, but it is a big bullet. Like these are this is a
mm.
lot more energy and force than your typical 5.56 or even 308.
Are
And
308s like pistol bullets?
no, so 308 is it is still it's so if 30-06 is high power, what you would maybe call high power, 308 is full power. And then 5.56 or 223, which is your AR-15s, those are intermediate cartridges. So 308 is another very, very common hunting round. And you can find it in AR configurations as well. There are several things called AR-10s or the type that shoot 308 and stuff like that. But
What if it
308's.
ricocheted?
Hmm?
Sorry, I read something about like it ricocheted off his bulletproof
No,
vest. Is that bullshit?
he
Is that
that's total
nonsense?
bullshit. So
Okay, right.
he was not wearing a bulletproof vest that anybody can
Yeah.
tell. If he was, it was very clearly Kevlar. Um, like just a thin Kevlar, like anti-stab, anti-low velocity pistol round
I thought you
vest.
said
But
Teflon, like the stuff they put on.
no, no Kevlar.
Okay.
But he was,
Yeah.
from everything I've seen, he was very clearly not wearing anything that would be able to stop or even deflect a bullet, like a steel plate. That's what you would need a steel plate on your chest to deflect a 30-06 round. A Kevlar anti-stab vest, basically a low velocity pistol vest,
Mm.
it would be very clear what happens. And Kevlar is a fabric, and the bullet would not be able to ricochet off of that. It would have to go in, and it would be caught basically like a glove into his shirt. So yeah, definitely not a ricochet of any kind. It's just, even with the mushrooming of the bullet upon impact and slamming into his spinal vertebrae, it's still weird to not have some kind of exit wound, because it is a lot of energy. I could do the math real quick about how many foot-pounds per square inch it's got, but it's a lot.
Weird as in impossible or just like
No,
unlikely? Do you
not impossible in the slightest.
know?
I'm not technically a firearms expert, and I'm definitely not a expert in the field of like what happens to the human body when it gets shot. But it's
No,
nowhere
but
near. It's nowhere
this
near, in
isn't
my
really
opinion,
a question,
impossible.
but this isn't really a question of what happens to the human body when it gets shot. It's what happens to the bullet, right? Like, because that's sort of the thing. Like, why is there not an exit wound? It's
Oh,
not what happens. The
I just
structures
wanna.
inside the neck, like that's very explainable.
So
Yeah.
what's on the screen right now, STA? It's the picture that you sent me. Is this the 30-06 round that you're talking about, or is this just a Full Metal Jacket
That is,
bullet?
so that is I don't think it's a 30-06. I'm not sure. It didn't look super closely at what I linked, but that's just an example of the hunting round, the soft nose and filler
Okay,
that
yeah.
is designed to, upon impact, expand outwards and what is it? Transfer more of its force and speed into the material it's hitting. So it's very, if what we're being told is true, it's almost certainly a soft nose hunting round rather than Full Metal Jacket. Because if you just just Google Full Metal Jacket bullet real quick.
Okay.
If it's a Full Metal Jacket bullet, these things are basically solid.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
just images. Images is fine.
Okay, well, I just grabbed,
Yeah.
there it is on Wikipedia, yeah. And I mean, this is not something that, like, the average person, or, like, I'm assuming, yeah, you were saying these are more
No, it's
expensive, and,
not any of that. It's just, for a hunting rifle, that your granddad gave you, you're probably more likely to just have some hunting ammunition or lying around or on hand rather than Full Metal Jacket. But Full Metal Jacket is just as common. And actually, no, you're incorrect there. It's actually usually cheaper than your hunting ammunition.
Oh, okay.
Just because it's way more mass produced. 30-06 in itself is already an expensive round anyway.
But that's the round that he used, and you said that it was that is in modern days like used for hunting.
Yeah.
Okay, and the mushroom picture here. This is what it would look like after it has made impact, like the third part of the
computer's lag. Yeah, that's what it looks like after impact, and that slamming into your spinal vertebrae probably would cause like you would be, if you weren't dead within a couple minutes, you would absolutely be paralyzed for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like it hit him like right here. Like I'm kind of gesturing. It looked like it was like more on the side of the neck rather than a full on front of the neck, because this is where the blood came out of, like where I'm gesturing with my on the stream. And that was what I thought was kind of weird. Like I think from what we have, the shooter was not directly in front of him, but maybe slightly. So, and like you had explained to me before, he was probably aiming for center mass and like
maybe,
the bullet.
Yeah, or the head, either or.
Yeah.
He had so what it looked like was, I agree, it hit like in the side of the neck. I mean, that's where your big vessels run, right? And so, and also just the sort of the impact of that bullet, it just looked like his brainstem went straight away. Like that's where you saw that posturing, the strange posturing that you saw as soon as he was shot.
Hello, Sev.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, you mean like, are you saying he left like he was gone?
No, he leaned left at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like, did you guys notice that strange posturing? He's sort of like with his hands.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry, I don't know if I'm doing it.
Fucked immediately from like I think.
No, you don't. No, yeah, I mean maybe it would. That's a brainstem thing, though. That's not what happens when you transect the spinal cord. It's more of.
Listen,
Yeah.
I would trust an Aussie on like fucking weird
Hey,
body.
she's a doctor. She's an actual doctor.
Her being an Aussie removes her expertise, okay?
She was born in England, so.
Yeah. She's an English.
Is that better or worse? No, but I mean, like, what, like, and also, like, I don't know. I obviously, like, the autopsy report, has to come out, but you imagine that it would have completely just blown his carotid and probably also his jugular. He would have lost cerebral perfusion pressure in like seconds. That's why he went down so quickly. But that posturing, that neurological posturing, that's the brainstem, and you don't get it that fast from like that. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, I thought it was the carotid artery, or at least that's what people were saying based on the amount of blood. Because
it looked. I think people said it looked like it wasn't just the amount of blood. I think, and I didn't watch the video that closely because this is disturbing. But people said there was a quick pulsating pattern as soon as it just like the bullet went in. And then you saw it pulse out. Like that's arterial bleeding. Yeah. So I would say, that's probably the carotid. I mean, it's going to be the carotid. It could be the jugular as well. It looked like a huge wound. They're not that far apart. Like if you look at it, I think, I can't remember exactly how far apart they are usually. Carotid distance from
they're
the jugular.
as far from each other as Israel and Palestine are.
Oh my God.
I will make everything about Israel Palestine. It's a challenge, and I will beat it.
They're very close together. So whether or not it transected his cervical spine, I'm not sure, but but that posturing is evidence of brainstem issues.
I want to make a joke. What if they come up with the autopsy and they're like, it was concluded that this was a gay bullet fired by a gay man?
Anyway.
I mean, they kind of already, but because we have like limited time for
I still got time. Just don't worry about me. I'll let you know.
Bullet question. Can I ask you a question about the bullet? So just, I mean, I know that what that guy said is absolutely ridiculous about the bone density, but just hypothetically, if it wasn't, right? If Charlie had, really, really dense bones, like what, how like as a bullet passes through material, like, depending on the density of the material, blah, blah, it'll slow it down a certain amount, right? Like,
and it will, the thing I was about to bring up, and that's questioning is my
Yeah.
mind, is
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot of two things real quick, and then we'll just keep your question in mind real quick. Okay. So
No, that's
first of
okay.
all, let's assume at this point that it was a soft nose hunting round. Kalinda, if you pull up the ballistic gel image that I sent you.
Yes, hold on.
So when a bullet like this hits a soft material, there's actually what probably caused the most amount of like damage
Whoops.
and his initial response to everything was when that bullet hits and it, goes into the neck like that. There's going to be like a blowout cavity, basically, like all of that energy transferring. You can see on this ballistic gel here. It basically all the muscle and skin and fluids are gonna first like be blown outwards and then shrink back in, and that just causes an immense amount of damage. And then I don't think there's really enough space in the neck for it to like deflect just through the material without hitting something. So it's probably going in mostly a straight line, but it's just that big cavity you see is what causes a lot of the damage when you get shot. But anyway, I'm sorry. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, yeah,
We
but
forgive
yes, so your question, Anna.
Banana about the bone density.
Oh, yeah, because I was just thinking, like, I think what that guy says is completely retarded, but like if he has really, really dense bones more than usual, like how much more dense would they have to be for that to actually be the difference between, that bullet being stopped by, like, like if like normal bone density of the vertebrae and all the ligaments and everything around it like wouldn't stop a bullet normally, like how much more dense would the bone have to be for it to stop a bullet? Is it a case like it would have to be like way, way, way more dense? To the point where he'd have
I think
does that make sense?
your average bone is. Stop it! I'm being attacked.
He has a cat.
Your average bone. I have two cats.
Yes.
But your average bone is pretty damn strong, like stronger than most people realize. It's got similar characteristics, and correct me if I'm wrong, but bones are kind of have this hard outer calcite
Well, that
shell,
was
and
my
then they're
question. Yeah, that was my question. Is it mainly the cortex of the bone, which is the outer, like you're saying, the hard shell,
Mhm.
or is it the trabecular inside, like the inside of the bone that
But the
matters
inside
when it
is
comes to bullet
softer,
timing?
right?
Well, yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. When you talk about bone density,
Mhm.
you're not you. Oh, I mean,
You're not
it
usually
just makes no
talking about the
sense. What do you,
outer shell,
yeah, like
shell.
it just makes no sense. Like what
You're
he's
talking
saying.
about bone marrow density is what you're usually, how much oxygen and
Well,
minerals, no?
no, I mean it sort of it depends. It's just like it is usually, yeah, like minerals is the thing. It's sort of like, when you get osteoporosis, like you can see even on a normal plain x-ray, someone just has like, where all that spongy stuff is. It's just sort of like empty spaces. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like when like surely that can't make much of a difference, right? Because it's already not very dense. Does that make sense? Like compared to the
Yeah,
outer
yeah.
surface, I mean.
So,
Yeah, that's
so
yeah.
bone has a lot of similar characteristics and types of strength comparable to actually steel. Like
Yeah.
it's not like as rigid and like you can't hit it as repeatedly as you can steel, but if you do comparable thicknesses and whatnot. But then the bigger benefit
Mhm.
of bones is that they're far more flexible than steel. They have a higher uh what's the opposite
Thermal
of plastic?
bending.
What's the opposite of
Oh,
plastic deformation? It's elastic
oh,
deformation. So they can
oh, you mean like
bend.
they have elastic recoil kind of thing, a
Yeah,
little
well, they
bit.
can bend further without permanently deforming. So you can bend a bone further
Especially
than
through base.
steel, and it will return
Yeah.
to its. So that helps absorb a lot of impactual energy, and
Um,
now I'm getting into
bit of
areas
static
I'm not too sure about. I'm pretty sure the bone would be better at distributing force. So, but I'm just
when it's
saying,
less dense.
I feel like
When it's less dense, right?
those interlocking vertebrae could definitely
Mm.
absorb a lot of energy, but they're probably very fucked up. Like they're probably completely shattered. if anything. But no, the bone density thing that is being said by this supposed surgeon is pretty
Sounds
bullshit.
insane. Yeah, it just
Well,
doesn't
I
make
can
any
give you
sense. Like, I don't
an
know about bullets.
easy. I can give you an easy short answer. He'd have to be a different species of human.
Yeah,
A
true.
reptilian.
So he would have to be
Maybe
like
he was
one of the
wearing.
species of humans that were like, not existent anymore.
A
Yeah.
Wait, what's the thing
Cro-Magnon?
that
What?
He's
Frodo
saying
wore?
he was a
What was
Cro-Magnon.
that thing that Frodo wore, guys, that stopped him from getting killed in Lord of the Rings? Maybe he was wearing that.
Mithril.
Maybe his vertebrae are made of that. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, it's almost certainly, if this information is true, a hunting round that put a lot of energy and force through the skin and tissue and stuff, and then smacked into the interlocking vertebrae in just the right way that it didn't because I would have to look at the vertebrae, but they've got a lot of like weird angles and cavities, and they're not smooth kind of things. So it would
No,
have
they've got lots of regions because blood vessels and nerves and everything like that need to go through them, like different ligaments and everything need to. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of shit around them. Yeah.
It would have to smack into it at a pretty direct angle to not just like glance off and fly out. But yeah,
I mean, yeah. Again, I don't know anything about that. Unfortunately, I just don't know anything about bullets. Yeah, when it comes to
I would believe at least that there's no exit wound, maybe. But even if there was one, it's not horribly likely that the bullet would go much further at a lethal velocity, especially without the angle it was at. It wasn't a super steep angle, but it's at a downward angle he got shot from. So it's like,
Yeah, because the guy was on the building and then it was 130 meters away.
Is that the official?
That's what the Wikipedia says, but yeah,
Okay.
I believe that that it's got a bunch of
Wikipedia?
sources. Yes.
How many people can one bullet kill? Like, I know that's a really hard question because it depends on
yeah.
Well, we don't know if he was aiming for the neck.
How big is your bullet? Are we talking a 800 millimeter mortar?
I can aim a tank shell pretty easily.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we mean like how many people could the 30-06 kill realistically?
30-06? I can't tell for sure, but if you were to use FMJ and put, I want to say, like three people in a perfect line, definitely those three people. The fourth,
Listen,
maybe
from
not.
my knowledge on Escape from Tarkov, FMJ is the least penetrative bullet on that game.
That's literally the opposite of...
I know. Hey, hold on. There's FMJ that is like for a different gun, for a 50 cal. That's like fucks people up in that game. But every other FMJ bullet is shit.
Well, yeah, there's FMJ, and then there's like steel tipped ammo. There's steel jacketed. There's all kinds of various like higher grade armor piercing ammunition. But if you're gonna use just a conventional FMJ round through a 30-06, I could guarantee you if you line three people's heads up, they would die. Maybe if you got like a perfect shot as well, I would say maybe even 4 people through the heart. Like if you just shot people through the heart 4 in a row, I think it would probably do that too.
I'm assuming
this is highly speculative at this point.
From how far away would you have to be? Because my thought is always like, you mean if you were standing like right in front of them, or does that not even matter?
Yeah, if you're standing right in front of them, definitely. If you're further away, if you're 100 yards away, probably still the same.
Okay,
but
yeah,
it does matter. It's just there's a lot of factors and variety of outcomes that could happen. But if we're just assuming like a perfect pass through, I'm pretty sure there's enough energy to kill 3 people through the head at least, and then probably 4 through the heart. So I know you said, especially being on Australia, you don't have a lot of familiarity with the gunshot wounds, but when it comes to
zero experience. Yeah.
When it comes to
absolutely
injuries like Charlie's to the neck, where you've possibly severed the carotid and maybe the jugular thing, what options do you have in transit or on the ground before you, even maybe at the hospital, to stop that kind of bleeding?
If you like, I mean, I know that even in surgery, if you puncture the carotid, it's very bad. Like, you
Yeah.
know, that's a very bad complication. So I don't know. I don't even know what the statistics would be for an out of hospital, like direct injury to the carotid. I imagine
You're
that
probably
that
fucked.
would be I don't know, I can't imagine how anyone could survive that unless you had like a really experienced like trauma paramedic right next to you who somehow knew that they could like clamp it and be, you know, like, and even then you'd have like, you know,
Well, if you clamp
you'd
it, then
like
there's
you'd have like
literally
one
no
side
blood
of your
flow,
body that
right?
wouldn't work. Yeah, what? Hmm?
When you clamp it, then there's like literally no, I mean, there already is very little, if
Yeah, because
any,
that's
blood
the
flow at
blood
all.
going right to the brain, right? And if you lose
Yeah,
that,
but
then you're
you have collateral circulation in your circle of Willis. So
Yeah.
I think you would definitely have very severe deficits, but you could possibly survive that. Yeah.
Right. I guess
But
do you have two carotids or just one carotid?
hmm?
Do you have two vessels on either side of you? Do you have one
Hey,
vessel?
guys, can I send you like a neck anatomy image because it's a lot
Yeah, of
easier
course.
to sort of
yeah,
explain it.
yeah,
Okay.
two
How do I
carotid
do that?
arteries. Yeah, you can
So
send it in the
are you
side
on
chat.
are you on your phone, Anna Banana?
No, I'm on my phone, but I've also got my desktop in front of me. It's just easier.
So if you hover
How do
over
I send it?
if you're in the server and you hover over Stream Room, on the side it says Open Chat right next to Create Invite.
Hang on, I'm just sorry, I didn't have Discord open on my desktop.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I mean, like, when would that happen though? Like, you know,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if that actually, yeah, it just would not happen. So yeah, it'd be like you'd have like 30 seconds, I feel, until they were just dead. If you just search for like anatomical structures, neck, vessels, it'll show like both the veins and the.
Okay, so there is two.
So I think
There's internal carotid, external carotid on either side, and then basilar artery and a circle of
the
Willis.
basilar artery, yeah. But I just think you would still get deficits, I think.
Mhm.
This isn't my area, I've got to say. I'm just
I
trying
mean,
to think.
just like me thinking about it, to stop
Yeah.
blood flow like that, it's not like in your arm or in your leg where you can either tourniquet or just apply pressure because
There was no
there's
tourniquet in that. Did you
Like,
see the video?
No, yeah.
if you ligated it, like, you know, like if you tied something around it, like that's called like ligation, right?
Mhm.
But you would definitely get one-sided motor deficits from that. But he would still be getting unilateral flow through the
Mhm.
other side, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because there's two. Yeah, so you'd be getting unilateral flow, but surely you'd get a one-sided motor deficit, surely. It
But
depends if you
like
had an intact
you
circle of
can't
Willis,
just
I think.
like you can't just like cover the wound and apply pressure basically. You'd have to do
No,
something.
there's too much. There's too much. It's an artery, like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's too big.
Too
but,
much
like
blood.
you've got like a structure called the circle of Willis,
Yeah.
and that is really good because it provides like collateral circulation, right? But you'd have insane amounts of hypoperfusion, like low pressure in the vessel
Yep.
due to what we call hemorrhagic shock. So that just basically means like you have low pressure in your blood system, like in the blood going out to the rest of your body, and the reason is because of a hemorrhage, right? So
Yep.
because you've got all that hypoperfusion, that circle of Willis wouldn't be getting perfused very well anyway. So your brain would be hypoperfused anyway. So yeah, I don't see how you could survive it. I think you literally need like a vascular surgeon right next to you when it happened. That's vibes though. Can I just say that's me going off anatomy vibe. So
Yeah.
I don't know the statistics.
I think
but yeah,
that,
do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
I think that was most people's impression when they saw that video. It seemed very likely that he was pretty much instantly gone.
And that's and
yeah.
also that's just if he just cut the carotid. Do you know what I mean? Like that was a huge like bullet hole, right? So who knows what other structures were damaged? Like it might not just be. It could have been both of the carotids. It could have been the whole airway. It could have been the cervical spine. Like I don't know.
I want to get an idea.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm going to try and let's see if we can look on YouTube here because I still have no idea like how large the bullet is.
You got to go to Streamable for that one.
What? Oh, oh my god. No,
Jeez. Wait, did they fill an entire arena for that douchebag?
Yeah.
yeah, they did, and apparently more outside, although I don't know how much. Yeah, I've got Right Side Broadcasting up.
Careful what you say, Rootsy. You might end up on the
Oh, I'm already on
Remember
the list,
Charlie.
buddy. I'm already on the list.
That's how big the bullet is. I have a short up on my screen if
Let me
anybody
see.
wants to have any
Oh my
idea.
god! I wish.
So again, there's a difference between the round and the projectile.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Wait, is there?
Oh.
I don't. Okay.
Yes. So the projectile is that little copper thing on the tip. That's the quote unquote bullet.
Oh, okay. And it's attached to the round, which is the.
It's attached to the case or the casing, which is filled with gunpowder and has a fulminated mercury cap. And
Okay.
a firing pin strikes the primer, which is that fulminated mercury cap. The primer ignites the gunpowder. The gunpowder propels the bullet through the barrel, usually with rifling, twisting it, and then the projectile is what actually kills.
Okay, yeah, but obviously, yeah. So these are huge, or at least
They're
yeah,
big.
yeah.
They're large. They're not. The largest conventional and common rifle round you can find that's bigger is like a 50 BMG is going to be your higher end. You can find 20 millimeter anti-tank rifles and stuff. They're not very common, but it's definitely not.
Linda,
not
I'm putting something in the side chat here that I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but it is disturbing to say the least.
Oh
Like,
God, me Rootsy, they got these kids again. I'm a conservative
Oh my
kid.
God, it's so creepy. Did you guys?
The
Oh my God,
literal groomed.
it's like Children of the Corn. Like it made me think of Children of the Corn.
All right, well, it's been great talking to y'all. I gotta go to work and make some rotisserie chickens.
You too.
Enjoy your rotisserie chickens.